Are you drowning in a sea of ideas and things that you want to do for your business, but you struggle to keep up with the demands of your everyday work and you have a really hard time implementing? Or are you feeling like there's never enough time to actually plan ahead and create quality content for your business? Or maybe you're struggling to maintain consistency, or you're struggling with writer's block. There are so many challenges that we all face when it comes to marketing our businesses. Those things that relate to like prioritizing our time and procrastinating, that's one piece. And then there's a whole nother piece of it, and that's it's really hard to promote ourselves. It's really hard to like get out there and get in front of people. We have fear of what other people are thinking and all of that. That held me back with doing video for years, and I'm facing my fears and I'm doing it right now, even though, to be totally honest, I feel completely awkward sitting here staring at my webcam, but I'm doing the work. And so today, I want to help you with a little bit of that. I want to talk about how to simplify the content planning and simplify the whole content marketing piece for you. What I'm learning is that the more I plan ahead and the easier I pave the way for myself, it's helping with this whole like junk in my head stuff of feeling insecure getting on video. So you know that it's important to show up consistently in your business. You know that you need to stay in front of your ideal clients. Nobody's going to know about your business, right? If you don't. And the really kind of difficult part is that nobody knows how good you are until you've already worked with them, right? Prior to that, your marketing is the only example of what working with you might be like. So we have to create quality content that gets us in front of those people that need what we have to offer. And we need to do it in a way that is engaging them and telling the story and making them see what it is that you can do for them and why they need you. And so the first thing we really want to do is focus on that ideal client transformation. So who is your ideal client? What do they need? What are they looking for? And how can you create content that's going to help them? We can really focus on ourselves and do I look stupid on this video right now? And what about my weight? Like that can totally hold you back. But at the same time, if you take that focus off of the lighting and your hair and does the sweater wash you out or whatever you're thinking inside your head, when you take your focus off that and you focus on that one person that you might be able to help with this piece of content, whether it's a blog, a video, a podcast, it makes it much easier to show up because it becomes about them instead of being about you. And so you really want to get clear on who that ideal client is and what are they looking for. You have the answers they need. And so you might need to be a little uncomfortable in order to get in front of them. But when you're focusing on them, it makes it so much easier because you're coming from a place of service rather than a place of sleazy, salesy stuff, right? So the first thing we want to do is really prioritize and plan our marketing. And by planning ahead, we can kind of break it into little bite-sized pieces that makes it easier to do. So the first thing I want you to do is take a look at your business and look at your schedule. Maybe track your time for a week and figure out what are those high impact activities that only you can do, and what things could you automate or delegate to get off your plate in order to create space for you to focus on content and serving your audience. When you plan ahead, you're able to avoid the procrastination and the overwhelm because it is not like a last minute fire drill to get something done. You can pace yourself so it's less overwhelming, and you can avoid the procrastination because procrastination, a lot of it is not knowing what to do next. But when you've planned it out and you have those steps laid out before you, you just have to walk the path. You don't have to invent the strategy. You've already done that ahead of time. And by doing this on a regular basis, you're going to be able to show up consistently. You're going to continually be improving on the quality of the content that you're delivering, and your content themes and content topics, you'll get feedback from your audience and you'll say, oh wow, they really like it when I talk about this thing or this other thing that I might really like. My audience really just doesn't care about it, so I'm not going to waste my time over there. So that's going to help your marketing improve continuously. So in order to really plan ahead, the first step is set clear goals. What is it that you want this content to do? How is it going to benefit your audience? How is it going to benefit your business? Be clear on both both of those things? Is this content to grow your list? Is this content to establish your authority? Is this content to seed a upcoming promotion that you have going on? You need to be clear on that. We've already talked about knowing your audience. That's something that you need to be doing in your marketing for all of the different things that you're doing with your marketing. Because if you are not clear on who you're serving, they're not clear on why they need you. Next thing is create a content calendar. So we have a program called Planner Genius. I'll link it up for you below. Super affordable marketing planning kind of group coaching thing where each month we plan out our content for the coming month and we do it together. Sometimes like having a group of people that you're doing this with, it takes away the procrastination element because we've got an appointment to show up for and you actually get it done. There's a chance to ask questions and all those kind of things. But even if you're not part of it, sit down, open up a Google Doc, and take a look at your calendar for next month and what are the big things that you want to be talking about? Do you have a promo coming up? Well, how can you create some content to overcome the objections that people might have prior to them seeing the offer? How can you help them become your ideal client? Maybe you are just in a list building mode, so you can create some content that answers questions and leads people to your opt-in offer or your lead magnet. So create a calendar and figure out how many weeks of content you have. If you're creating content once a week, you're going to have 4 or 5 posts or 4 or 5 articles or videos that you're going to create each month. Use a tool like Google Calendar or Trello or Asana, or we're using ClickUp right now. Love it. That's great. But whatever it is, plan out and create a little bit of an editorial calendar. Like this week, we're going to talk about this. Next week, we're going to talk about that. And then prioritize based on the impact that this is going to have on your business. So we want to pay attention to things like SEO, and we want to pay attention to overcoming objections. We want to educate our audience and so that they know why they should work with us and what they should do next. If we can give them some quick wins, we're helping them even before they've even bought from us. And that's a beautiful thing because that develops trust. And so take a look at the brainstorm list and which of those articles or which of those topics will have the biggest impact on your business. And then take a look at your metrics as you start creating content on a regular basis. You're going to see, well, this topic seems to get more views on YouTube, or this topic seems to be liked more by my email subscribers. And that way you can help cater the topics that you're doing each week for those things that are key for your audience. The next thing you want to do is think about batching content. And batching content is really when you're creating a bunch of things all at once, so that way you can kind of load up your queue and have things waiting ahead. Think of it like meal prepping, right? You're meal prepping your content. So on Sunday, if you're meal prepping, you're going to cook dinners for the whole week and make sure you have lunches and breakfasts and things like that taken care of. We're going to do the same thing with your content. And I like to focus on creating one piece of long form content each week, things that are going to help tell the story of my brand, help engage my audience no matter when they come and find me. You know, people are always looking at how do I generate leads? They're looking at how do I create recurring revenue? Those are topics that I can talk about on a regular basis, so I can create a bunch of things on those topics, and it doesn't matter when I publish them. They will still always be relevant for my audience. So when you do this and you're batching content, you know, think of your content pillars. Your content pillars are like the main topics that you talk about. And for me, messaging, websites and funnels, marketing, right? How are you getting in front of your audience? Specifically content marketing. I talk about planning. I talk about mindset. Those are my content pillars that I like to create content around. So I will brainstorm a bunch of topics in each of those pillars, and then I'm going to batch create that content. So I'm going to create all my outlines together, and I'm going to sit down and record all my videos on the same day, and I'm going to focus on editing and then focus on queuing them up and having them in the freezer, so to speak, or, you know, loaded up and ready to publish so that I can consistently every single week love on my audience. By doing this, it's really going to increase your efficiency because you're more efficient when you're not pinging around from one thing to the next. It's going to help you with more focus and more creativity as well. If you're batching content, it's kind of like getting going. For me with videos, the first video is really stiff and awkward, and by the third one, I'm I'm more myself. I'm just showing up as me. So it also reduces procrastination because you can set a date with yourself that once a month, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to record all my podcasts for the month on this one day. And so you clear your schedule, you plan ahead, you've got your outlines and your talking points, your calls to action, your hooks, all of that stuff lined up ahead of time. And so it's just a matter of sitting down and doing it. And so it makes it much less of a procrastination type thing. The other thing is it improves your time management. So, when you're jumping from one task to the next, it takes you a little while to get into the groove with that. But if you're in video editing mode, or you are in writing your blog posts and you're in the flow of that writing, it is going to be much faster and easier for you to do that. So the way I like to think about this as I'm doing this is I like to identify similar tasks, right? Like I am focusing on YouTube right now and starting a YouTube channel and growing it. And this is new for me. I'm a beginner. I don't know what I'm doing yet. And so by identifying similar tasks, I'm learning and efficiency is improving. So for me, sitting down to record, I only have to set up the ring light once. I only have to hook up the mic and I can sit down and record a bunch of videos at once. Same thing if I'm creating graphics for social media, or if I'm writing blog posts to go with the videos. I like to batch that stuff together and kind of group them together. I also like to schedule time on when I'm going to do this. So I cleared this afternoon to be able to record some videos for the upcoming month. You can also prepare your resources in advance. So like I said, know what the hooks are, know what the calls to action are, know what the titles are, what are the talking points of your piece of content that you're creating, and then eliminate distractions. So I'm obviously doing this on a day that the kids are gone. I'm not going to do this when I got kids coming in and out all day long. I'll lose focus and I will have to edit more and all of that. And then track and adjust. So at the end of this little video recording session that I'm in right now, I'll take notes. What went well? Where did it not go well? What can I do to make it better next time? And so you can plan ahead for those things. The last thing is when you're actually like creating your content, some things that help with efficiency for me are creating templates. I always forget to say, hey, if this video is helpful, click like and subscribe, trying to grow my channel, and that would mean a lot and help me. So I forget to do that. So I got Post-its so that I remember to do those things. I also like to leverage AI in order to help me come up with content ideas and help me structure the outline and create talking points for me. I'm still speaking from the heart, but this bulleted list in front of me is helping me stay on track. And I use AI to help me do that. Another thing you can do, which I haven't played with yet, but I know a lot of people do, is they will just open up their phone and they will talk right into the speaker of their phone in order to record a podcast. If that works for you, if talking is better than video or easier than writing, use whatever method works for you. And you can also take things like this video and I can have it transcribed, and then I can take that transcription and turn it into a blog post. So that can help me save time on writing a blog and creating a video. And, I could strip the audio from it and turn it into a podcast. There's lots of things that you can do. When you've got your content created and it's edited and it's published and it's ready to go, you can use tools like Buffer or Hootsuite. We're using CoSchedule right now to schedule out your posts so that you know ahead of time what's going out on which channel, and you can schedule those and not have to be opening up your LinkedIn at 8:03 a.m. on a Tuesday in order to publish your post. We take our blog post and we splinter it into shorts and reels that we can put out on social media. We also will put it up as a blog post and we'll email it to our list to help nurture our subscribers. So we do that once a week and we've got the template all set up. It's just a matter of popping in the new video link and a description about the video and sending that off to our list. And then I like to leverage autoresponders. If I have an email that I send out, just like a regular weekly email that gets a lot of opens and a lot of clicks, I know that's something that's really relevant to my audience. I will pop that into my autoresponder sequence so that I am continuing to nurture people on an ongoing basis and taking the best of the best content that I'm curating based on the response and the engagement from my audience in order to help nurture my list. And that brings me to like the analytics, right? That's one thing that I think think a lot of people struggle with is they don't know what to take a look at as far as analytics. And that's going to vary based on each channel that you're using. But like for email, I look at what are the open rates? What are the click-through rates? Am I getting people replying to the email saying, thanks, this was great? When I get those, you better believe those are going into my autoresponder, because people are actually taking the time to respond and say, that video or that blog post was exactly what I needed right now. Thank you for sharing that. And so I like to do that. There's also tools that you can use like Google Analytics to see which things are getting traffic. You can use your insights inside your social media channel to see which posts get the most engagement and the most comments and shares and things along those lines. Overall, you keep it simple, right? The analytics, they can become overwhelming if you let them. Just keep it simple. Track 1 or 2 things per channel. And that way you can start to get into the habit of seeing which pieces of content your audience likes the most. So overall, we want to assess the needs and goals. We want to make a plan with your content. You're going to want to batch your content, schedule time to create it, schedule time to edit it, create a bunch of it at once so that you can have some in the queue to give you some breathing room when life gets busy, and then leverage the automation tools wherever possible in order to make this easier for you. Marketing does not have to be hard. It can be as hard as you let it be. So focus on keeping it as simple as possible, and just know that just like me with these videos, you might start off and it might feel really awkward, but the more you do it, the easier it will get. And you need to be consistent with your audience, and consistency is going to help them, but it's also going to help you because you're going to get better and better at it. So if this video was helpful, please click subscribe and like and comment below with whatever tidbit helped you today. I would love to know if there's things you'd like me to talk about in the future. Comment below and let me know that as well. And in the meantime, thanks so much for being here, and happy marketing. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.